South Florida sunshine, palm trees lie, perfect smile, practice cry. Red dress walking into court, every glance says less than more. New husband, short honeymoon, whispers blooming way too soon. Phones light up at 2 a.m., promises written, erase a man. She says it was a movie scene, but the script was way too clean. Every word began to drip when detectives hit record and hit play. Text messages and red flags, love letters turning into body bags. She says it was all pretend, but pretend don't pay a hitman. Lipstick, lies, and camera light. Reality TV meets real life night. Say it once, say it twice. The truth don't bend when the tapes play nice. Undercover with a wire tight, listening quiet, letting her talk all night. Is he dead? Slips out too fast. Future plans while the present cracks. She flips the switch, she plays a role. Victim voice, then full control. Tears on cue, mascara rain, but the timeline won't explain. Rehearse shock, a practice gasp. Hands too steady, answers fast. Every version slightly shifts while the jury reads between the scripts. Text messages and red flags, smiling while she does the math. She says it was all pretend, but pretend don't hire a friend. Gold hoops, heels, and courtroom sound. Every line leaves fingerprints around. Say it once, say it twice. Truth don't blink under cross-exam lights.
What?
Sorry.
That's okay. I was like, I didn't even tell you about it. I just put it on there.
I was expecting, shake it, magic 8 Ball. I was getting in the groove for that. And then I was like,
I know.
oh, dang, it's a country song.
Oh my goodness. How's everybody doing? Happy New
You
Year.
know,
Hope it's like great so far.
it's all right,
Only 5 days in.
Only 5 days. It feels like an entire year already.
Thinking 2027 should be knocking on the door.
Yeah. Oh, good. Help me.
I had tragedy today. It was really bad.
I'm sorry.
My pencil broke.
Oh, I know how much you love pencils.
And this one is one of my nice pencils. And the end fell out of it. I was like, what the hell?
Rude.
So still have these cheap ones though. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. And I'll just use the eraser on this one until it's out. I was like, gosh dang it. I was writing too. I love pencils. What's up, Flash Man?
I love pencils.
Hello, Frankie. How are you?
Hey, Frankie.
How are you? What's up, Bad Dazzer? I see you there, Bobby. Hot dog. Are you sending hot dogs? Are you throwing hot dogs at us?
Probably.
Probably. What's up, Snipe? Good to see you. Oh, did she steal your sunglasses? Oh, sorry.
Oh, the lady in the song?
Yeah, the defendant. Hello, Ash. How are you?
Oh, my little croissant.
I saw something in there. Oh, this channel should be changed to alternate juror Massachusetts Gabby.
No, absolutely not. It's the worst thing AJ could do. Trust me. Good Lord. Please don't do that.
I don't know who to suggest this trial, Frank.
Who did?
Frank. I wonder if anybody's caught on it was Frank. Gabby, haven't seen you since last year. What's up, AT1?
Wow, AT1. I almost, that was a knee slapper right there.
What's up, Nidowow? Ugh, overseeing a kid's test on a test prep on the computer.
Who wants to do that? Not me.
Ah, that sounds horrible, but necessary.
Terrible.
Well, you guessed right. I did not break the pencil. It broke itself. It's not funny.
It's kind of funny, actually.
What's up, Ronnie?
Ronnie, señorita,
Yeah.
bonita.
Bonita.
Hola.
Did I get everyone? You know what's nice? I'm glad to hear that. Because I did watch. I've not watched it all yet, but I've watched part of your stream. Whoops. So I'm
Sorry,
glad.
my husband's dragging something down the
Oh,
hallway.
I cannot hear that. I could hear the
Okay, good.
airplane.
That airplane was ridiculous.
He gets on the YouTubes if I don't sit here and occasionally yell. Those darn kids. So sneaky. No. The one he did over on New Year's Day, maybe?
Oh yeah, when he was drawing his dog.
Yeah, he was drawing. And I'm like,
Yeah, I
can't
went in
draw.
there.
What's up, Queen?
Howdy, y'all.
Y'all. You know, I figured out the other night that Gabby does a really good Queen because there was times I couldn't tell if Queen was saying something or if Gabby was
Yep.
saying something. I'm like, dang it.
See? I got that southern twang down.
You
tell you
do,
what.
and you have her voice down.
I
And it
do.
was super hard to tell apart the other night. Like, stop talking, Gabby. And then I'm like, that's not Gabby. That is Queen this time. Dang it.
She's like, mother heifers,
An ambulance.
ambulance.
Gabby should do cartoon voices. Would be funny.
I mean, I don't. What the fuck was that? Now you see what I'm dealing with. This is
I heard that one.
noises, airplanes. I mean, loud mufflers. I can't even.
Ronnie, I had a blast over there. They were all so nice,
Yeah.
and not that I expected anything different. But it was nice to put a face with Mr. Bobby Baloney and Snipe, of course. I have didn't see your face that night, but I've seen it somewhere else. And
He
then-
shows it. He shows it here and there on Shinny's stream.
Look at that wee woos.
Way woes.
I'm still gonna get. I think I'm gonna send Shinny a life alert for Christmas next year or something.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Hats off to her for falling and still being able to get up. So I don't know that
Right?
I could even now. So
I'm 39 and I feel like my back is gonna, like, I don't know, break at any point. So I don't know if I fell, I would be able to get up.
yeah, in my dreams. Yes, that's where I saw your face. You got me. Air raid siren. No, not for Shinny. That Dazzler. Nothing wrong with a loud muff.
That's well, there could be, but you know,
I have no comment. Carmen could tell
if
us.
Carmen was here, she would have a comment about that.
She could tell us. So. Okay. I got to start this or we'll never get to that. All right. So we are going to do the Dalia Dippolito trial from Florida. This one is from 2011. I don't know how much you guys want to know about this because I did not know that she had 3 trials.
I don't know anything about it. I just read your description of what you wrote for this video. So that's the only thing I know about it so far.
So we're watching the first one. I was
Okay.
actually, when I saw what tipped me off was when I was kind of doing the research and stuff for the song, it said something about 3 trials. I'm like, "She had 3 trials?" So then I figured we got the last one, not
Huh.
the first. So today I had to look into that a little bit further, and we got the first.
Oh.
So, this does end with a verdict, so there won't be any Alaska here. We do get a verdict. It just depends on if you want me to tell you how they have proceeded, I can, or I can wait till the end. You guys tell me how you want me to do it, and that's what, I will do. You love whoever recommended this. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't there's not gonna be a surprise at the verdict. This one I told you guys, this one that we don't have to think about, like the last 2 where we were kind of on the fence on guilt or innocence, especially and I won't even fight with Carmen on this one.
You
Like,
won't?
no, there's no argument to be had there. Okay, Ronnie says wait till the end. All right, I will
Yeah,
wait
that's what
till
I
the
say
end.
too.
You won't say anything. Yeah, there's not. Yeah, just so we'll wait till the end. So tonight we are going to cover the state and defense openings, and then tomorrow it kicks off with her ex-husband. Well, I would assume now ex-husband, who was the going to be the victim, her victim in this case. They start off with him. We get him, I think there's like 5 or 6 different parts with him on there. So she obviously was not successful in hiring a hitman. Um, well, I think she was successful in hiring a hitman. He just, was an undercover officer.
He wasn't very good at it.
She wasn't very good at it. So if you guys aren't familiar with this case at all, I heard this on a podcast called Case Files originally a long time ago. She put her husband through the ringer with some of the stuff that she did to him that we will hear about. So it's really interesting and just crazy on why anyone would do what she did. Like, just get a divorce. Just you don't need to unalive anybody. Just get a divorce.
I mean, are you sure? Because we could hire people to do that.
I mean, well, yeah.
We could hire people to do both, actually.
Yeah. So go the divorce route if you're going to hire anybody. What's up, whoever? Right. And then don't try to get insurance money, because if you get caught doing this, you're not going to get the insurance money anyways, and you're going to go to prison.
Correct.
So just don't do it. Just go get a divorce and rebuild your life and be on your way, and you'll be happier. Probably.
True.
Frank, CHA, your husband doesn't have to be unalive. Just get a divorce. But unaliving is quicker, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's only yes, it's quicker, but I mean, you could get caught, and look what happens when you get caught. You'll end up on AJ's stream. So just hire a divorce lawyer.
We might make fun of you. Gabby knows a guy. Shh, don't tell.
I do, actually.
Yes, but you are so comfy. But will you be that comfy in prison?
No, he was talking about Ronnie's comment above about him having no clothes on.
Oh. You keep that to yourself. Yes, you are going to be the first suspect as a spouse. 100%.
Absolutely. Yep.
And even if you didn't do it, if they think they can pin it on you and can't find anybody else to pin it on, guess what? It's still you.
100%.
What's up, Sarah? Sarah, sorry. There we go. Click. Oh my goodness. Unaliving has money at the end of the rainbow. Yeah, you know where that pot of gold is? We never ever can find. We never can get there. It just keeps moving the
Yeah,
goalpost.
it's kind of rude of the gold mine. Just saying.
If you get caught, you get 30 years peace. Coming from a man. Bad Dazzer.
Perfect.
That is perfect and hilarious.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Hello, Deidre. Happy New Year to you as well.
Hey, Deidre.
Divorce is cheaper and has less repercussions normally. Yes, repercussions. I'll learn to speak. You will not be comfy in prison. They won't want you running around nude. Just saying. What's up, Jessica? How are you? Side eyes. Now I got Jessica. It's me, Jessica.
I was just saying that in my head.
I can't get it out of my head. And happy
You're okay.
2026 to you. What's up, Robin? Happy 2026 to you.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Oh, look who it is. Black Swan himself. Why are you a black swan? You need to be a white swan.
No.
Good to see you, Lesko. Why do you think I moved across the country to get away from my ex? I don't know, man. Some of you, I know, like Robin's single, probably forever single, like at least marriage, where marriage is concerned, just from what she has said. But man, the men in here that have been divorced are all about it.
A lot. Yeah. There's a lot of them.
They're like, see ya, good riddance. I will move to wherever. Bye. I'll go ride an Alaskan bike if I have to, just to get away from you. That's, I
Yep.
mean, they're crazy. You're not crazy. You're just not crazy about your exes. Like, you're out. So long.
Yeah,
see
guys,
ya.
you're just crazy, all right?
Yeah, like just so long. See you never. What's up, Mrs. McPickle Pounder?
Every time.
Let me know what time you're going to be here in the morning, please. Or text me when you're on your way. Hello, Dog Mom. Hello, my friends. My fellow prosecutor had something to do with this trial, unfortunately. That's all I can say. Dang it.
Oh, no.
Interesting. And dang it, all at the same time.
Will we know when it happens? Blink once. Blink once for yes.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. All right. We got everybody. All right. We're good. Let's do this.
Good. All right.
So I think the audio on this is great. If I need to turn it down, I don't have it turned up, but if I need to turn it down, let me know. So we will start obviously with the state's opening. There's a little bit of discussion in the courtroom before they do whatever, before they get to the opening.
Here comes another plane. Do you hear it?
I don't hear that one. Probably because you were threatening to throw eggs at it.
You know?
What's up, Katie D?
Hey, Katie
I
D.
am glad that you did find us from Baker's chat or Baker's.
Yeah, I saw her in there today, actually, in Baker's chat.
I have not even been on the YouTubes. All right.
Me either. I kind of like go in and out, but it's fine.
I do have it sped up a little, not a 10. If I need to slow it down, let me know. If I need to turn it down, let me
know.
All right. Remain seated. Court is back.
Sounds fabulous.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And it looks as though we are ready to proceed with opening statements. Ms. Parker, correct?
Yes, Judge. Two slight issues. The redaction kind of instruction that Mr. Selnick and I came up with, we would need you to read that prior to the trial starting.
All right. Gotcha.
We also want to read the Shihada instruction now. You had said something about that just before. There's no reason to bring it up.
I'll slow it down.
Over before. Judge, I also have 3 demonstrative exhibits that I would like to use in my opening.
Okay.
First is a timeline.
Okay.
Mr. Sonic has seen these prior to today.
All right.
The second one is just kind of a list of the characters involved in the case,
Okay.
pictures. And the third is a map of where things took place in Boynton Beach.
Do you anticipate them eventually going into evidence?
No,
Just three demonstrative aids?
yes.
Stay. Mr. Salad.
Judge, I'm not going to have a problem with that, except I do have a problem with the picture. And I told Ms. Parker this, the concern I have is.
Who is he? Johnny Cool?
Who's Ms. Dippolito?
Michael.
Not yet.
Yeah.
It's a mugshot.
Okay.
The other two are driver's license, and that one appears to be a smiling guy named Mike Stanley. I don't know where that picture came from. It's my only concern.
All right. I'll take that as an objection, and I'll overrule the objection. I'm looking at the four photographs. Three of them look to be similar in that they have plain backgrounds, shades of blue to gray, and of those three, neither one of the three look to be more or less like either mugshot or a David photo than the others. So I don't think that.
It's the one with the female.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, and my other concern is that photo has actually been on television. And my concern is if they know it's a mugshot. I know the state's not going to refer to it as a mugshot. That's not my objection. or my
No,
issue.
Judge, and I did tell Mr. Sonic if on his opening, if he wanted to put a different picture of Ms. Dippolito, he could certainly do that.
Because I think that it's just common knowledge that the fact that she's here at this stage, she would have had to have been arrested. And I don't know, even if they figure out that it's a mugshot and they might not, how is that prejudicial?
Well, if they find out it's a mugshot, just the case law that says you can't show a mugshot to a jury.
All right, I'll overrule the objection, and it does not, there's nothing about that photograph that makes it obvious that it's a mugshot, but especially it's.
You can't show a mugshot to a jury? I didn't know that. Also, the judge's answer back to him of she wouldn't be here if she hadn't been arrested.
Hashtag
duh.
truth.
I didn't know. Didn't know you couldn't show a mugshot to the jury. All right.
Wait. Oh, I thought he was holding a spoon in his hand. I was like, what is he eating? What are those, sunglasses or something? Doesn't he
So
look
fun.
like he has a mouthful of something? He looks like he just like took a spoonful of cereal or something.
What's up, Iris?
Hey, Iris.
Yeah, his answer was very logical. Like, she wouldn't be sitting here if she hadn't been arrested. So it's prudential. That's why they wear plain clothes. I get the whole plain clothes thing. I just didn't get I didn't know you couldn't show a mugshot to a jury. Maybe he might
I
be.
mean, I don't know. I call BS on that, but all right. Where is this? Florida?
Yes.
Of course.
All right. So I did slow him down because they all talk really fast. If she's,
I mean, I don't know. I was fine with the way it started, but
No. In some jurisdictions, you absolutely cannot. I believe you.
oh, really?
Oh, it's prejudicial, not prudential. I didn't
Yeah,
know what you
but
meant
I
by
mean-
prudential, but
I mean, in Florida, though? Florida? That's the thing. That's the thing that they're holding back on is a mugshot. I mean, come on. That's just doesn't make any sense to me.
And that it had been on the news.
Yeah. Everyone's already seen it.
All right, let's rock and roll.
All right.
Watered down when it's compared to the others that look very similar to the style of the photography. So,
And I explained to Ms. Parker, I may use an internet photograph of Mr. Shihada advertising his acting wares as demonstrative evidence. And the state didn't seem to have any objections.
Sure, Judge, that's fine.
This is one of them.
Judge, I wouldn't have a problem with the photo, but I think the words around
I'm
it.
not going to put the words around it. And this one.
all right, and so when the jury comes out, I'll tell them we're about to hear opening statements, and then you want me to read the little paragraph that you put together on redaction. Let me know if this works. I'm leaving soon. Time to play. Tell Lori.
Oh, you can leave that part.
You don't want me to read that?
I don't think you want to read that part.
What?
Judge, also the state has lots of business records that we would move into evidence, and I don't know if you.
Wait, what happened? I was reading chat. Sorry.
Just like, I don't even know what that was. They were just like joking around. When we did that part out, they're just laughing. Like, what is happening?
I had hit play and then I saw Luca come in. So hello, Luca. And then Lefty came in. So hello, Lefty. Hello, MBW007. I like the internet says it's prejudicial and a blatant disregard for human rights. Yeah. I guess. I thought when I pulled up that comment and it had a chicken on there that the chicken clucked because Gabby sounded like the chicken. It's just, I'm with you, Bobby. Like, I was like, how did they do that?
It happens. I mean, I guess it happens, apparently.
But no, it absolutely did.
I think you read. Oh.
You read a private part of the note. Oh. Oh, yes. These two lawyers are completely different than the last two Florida lawyers we just watched.
Can't wait to see what happens in this courtroom.
Most cases prosecute. Yeah, I mean, yes, they don't really need to show the mugshot. They're sitting there. Like, everyone knows they had one. All right. Keep your chickens down over there, Gabby.
I mean, I have no chickens. It's just my cackle. That's the only thing I got. So must have been my laugh. My bad.
The timing was perfect.
I mean, I'll admit it. I have a cackle, so, you know.
Oh my gosh. It was hilarious. All right, here we go.
All right.
Oh, hey, Heidel, before I hit play.
For the record purposes, you want to wait till after my opening before?
If you're going in by way of stipulation, we can go through the process of.
We're going to probably introduce a number of business records as well, and we've agreed to all this.
All right, then what you'll do is for the appearance for the jury, just when you get to that point and you know the other side's not going to object, just skip laying the predicate. Just say, Your Honor, we offer State's Exhibit number 5. I'll look to Mr. Selnick, any objection, and he'll say yes or no. And if there's an objection, then he'll tell me what it is. But you can skip laying the predicate. How's that sound? All right. And now, do you also want me to read this other instruction about the one that comes under the paragraph called Mohammed? Ladies and gentlemen, jury, you're about to watch some record. How about if I put during the trial, you will be watching recorded testimony of a witness named, pronounced the Shihadi?
Mohammed
Yeah. Could we wait until that portion of the trial actually happens? Right until the video is played?
Judge, I'd ask you read it your way now and that way later, just so that they
Okay,
know.
I'll give it to a vote. All right. Okay, good. So I'll do the redaction instruction and the other instruction, and then if you want me to reread it to them, I'll do that when the video is being played. Anything else?
Karen, I only have one other question, I guess, as far as the clerk's logistics. With the business records, does the clerk want the cards now? Because I guess it would already be technically entered into evidence, so.
Nothing's entered yet until I say they're entered, so,
That's what I mean.
yeah, just go ahead. Yeah, I don't understand your question.
I guess with the business records, I don't know, I'm just trying to find out from the clerk, do they want the cards?
There you go, yeah. Stick your cards on your exhibits, number them what you want to call them, and that'll work.
And Your Honor, once something is admitted by you, it will just be brought to me so I can mark it.
Right. Thank you so much. Once I announce something's in evidence, please immediately bring it over to the clerk so she can mark it in evidence, so that we know it's
You remind me if I forget?
in evidence. I'll remind you. You will be reminded by way of some object flying through the air
Okay.
in your general direction. Ready to go?
Ready, Judge?
All right, let's bring in our jury. Oh, can you take down that exhibit so while I'm reading the direction, I can
Sure.
see the jury? Thanks.
Do we not cut those out?
Oh, just a reminder to the media people, I've announced to the rest of the people who were here before, please don't do anything to identify the jurors by name or description other than the most generic version of that. All right, please be seated. Make yourselves comfortable. Welcome back. Good afternoon. Y'all have a good lunch? Where did anybody go? Anybody go anyplace good? No? Cheesecake Factory? That's kind of popular. It's too much food for me then. All right, great. Ladies and gentlemen, there's been a couple of agreements, a lot of things that we do behind the scenes in preparation for a smooth presentation to you all as we figure out what things we can agree to, and many, many things the parties have agreed to. One of them is that throughout the trial, you may be presented with evidence in the form of records, videotapes, or voice recordings. There have been some parts that have been redacted or removed. Both sides have agreed to this, and you are not to speculate or guess or consider in any way why this was done. Also, during the trial, you will be watching some recorded videotaped witness testimony. The one witness specifically we're talking about is Mr. Mohammed Shihada. The Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure permit the testimony of a witness in this manner when a witness is unavailable to testify in person. You are to consider this testimony as you would consider the testimony of any other witness had they been presented live. All right, with that, we'll go to opening statements. Ms. Parker.
I know what you're thinking. What a cute little girl. But I'm not. I'm a lot tougher than I look. That's what the defendant, Dalia Dippolito, said to the undercover officer from the Boynton Beach Police Department on August 3rd of 2009. She meets undercover agent Woody Jean because she wants to kill her husband, Mike Dippolito. He asked her, "Are you sure you want to kill him?" Without hesitation, as if she had ice running through her veins, she says, "There's no changing. I'm determined already. I'm positive. I'm 5,000% sure. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it." And then she laughed. She laughed when Agent Woody Jean asked her, "So, is this someone you're married to?" She laughed because she'd been married for exactly 6 months. She laughed because she was good at manipulating her husband, Mike Dippolito, and he had no idea of what she had planned. She laughed because she thought she could fool him, and she thought she could fool everyone else, and that she could get away with having him murdered. But she didn't know that the man that she had met with on August 3rd of 2009 in a red Sebring convertible in the parking lot of a CVS in Boynton Beach, Florida, was actually an officer named Woody Jean. She didn't know about Mohammed Shihada, her friend, her lover, that had actually gone to the police. She didn't know that he had a conscience. She thought that he was helping her plan her husband's murder. But Mohammed Shihada didn't want to see Mike Dippolito get killed. He didn't know Mike Dippolito, and he'd had a physical relationship with Dalia Dippolito for years, the defendant. But he went to the police because he knew that she was serious. On July 31st of 2009, Mohammed contacts the Boynton Beach Police Department. He comes down to give a statement, and what the officers heard on that day was extremely unusual. He told him the story about how the defendant wanted to have her husband killed, and he asked to remain anonymous. He didn't want her to know that he had come to the police, but he wanted to stop a murder. So what the police did is they had Mr. Shihada set up a meeting with the defendant at a mobile gas station at the corner of Gateway and I-95. And that's a place that they had met before on several occasions. And what you will see is that this mobile gas station here at Gateway and I-95 is less than 1.6 miles from the house the defendant shared with her husband. It's a half a mile from where she met with Woody Jean, the undercover agent. She plotted the murder of her husband within less than 2 miles from her house. She meets Muhammad at the mobile gas station on August 1st of 2009. Muhammad tells her to bring a down payment so that he can pay the hitman at the request of the police department. There's a video camera in the car. Muhammad doesn't know he's being taped with a video camera. He does know he's being audio recorded. He doesn't know that he does know the detectives are listening in, but he doesn't know that everything that happens between him and the defendant that day was recorded. She hands him $1,200 in cash that day and 2 photographs. One of her husband, Mike Dippolito, and the second one of the house that they lived in. And she tells Muhammad, after handing over these photographs, to wipe her prints off the photographs. And why does she do that? Because she doesn't want to get caught. As she's sitting there in the car with Muhammad, she plans out her alibi. She doesn't want her actions to seem suspicious. And Muhammad asks her an interesting question. So after they kill him, your mom and his mom, are they not going to get suspicious of you or anything? And she says, why me?
What's up, Zach? Happy New Year's to you too. 2026 is going to be the year that you find that Greencastle exit and you come back home. So I don't have to raise our little gay frog alone. But I hope you had a great Christmas. And thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. It's good to see you. Yes, the Prince of Wales. He needs to change it to Woody Jean now, because I got to find a picture of Woody Jean. I know. That's why she's like the prosecutor, one of her prosecutors that she works with. Like crazy. I want to talk to her so bad, but I know she can't tell us. One day, dog mom, one day.
Do you know what killing somebody is? Nobody is going to get to point the finger at me. I'm going to tell them about the guys he knows. I'm going to throw all their names in. I'm going to start naming a whole bunch of stuff. And guess what? When she was questioned by the police after her arrest on August 5th of 2009, that's exactly what she did. During the trial, you're going to get to hear several calls between the defendant and Muhammad. You're going to hear their conversation. You're going to hear about their plan and when Muhammad tells her the hitman will call her, where to meet the hitman. All of those conversations are recorded. You're also going to hear several calls between Agent Woody John posing as a hitman on the phone. The first conversation on August 3rd of 2009 at 2:47 p.m. He tells the defendant, I need $3,000 and a key to your house. And he tells her where to meet him. You will see a video of the defendant in the car with Agent Woody John. You will see how she acted, and you will hear exactly what she said on that day. And you'll see that she is caught in the act of being herself on tape.
Sorry, but thank you, Lefty, for becoming a member. Welcome to the jury pool. I appreciate it very, very much. Yes, Zach did go get some milk, somewhere. I don't know where. And he did end up states away with a new family. But I'm still waiting. I'll just wait for you at that exit where he told me to sit and wait. Zach.
Agent John tells her exactly how Mike Dippolito will die. He says he's going to get 2 to the head, and that's it. He says he's going to make it look like a robbery that went bad. He tells her when it's all done, then I get paid. She agrees, and she says, I just need to make sure that everything is taken care of. She agreed to pay him $7,000 when it was done. They talk about the $1,200 that she'd already paid him. She even tries to convince the undercover agent that he should rob her husband, who's going to be at a bank in Boca Raton that morning, and he's going to have $10,000 on him. She says that would be ideal because it would make it look like there's some reason to kill him. They talk about her going to the gym the morning that her husband's going to get murdered. And the agent says, who she thinks is an undercover hitman, the time you get back from the gym, you're going to find 2 things. His dead body in the house or nothing. She says, all right. And then what does she do on Wednesday morning, August 5th of 2009? She leaves her house and she drives to the gym, just like they planned. And you know what she took with her to the gym that day? She took with her an $1,800 Prada purse filled with all the expensive jewelry that Mike Dippolito had given her during the course of their marriage. Her over $20,000 engagement ring, all of her David Yurman jewelry, her expensive watch. And she leaves that in the car and she goes inside to work out at the LA Fitness, which is 0.7 of a mile from the house where she lived with Mike Dippolito. And you're going to hear that there are signs all over that LA Fitness, in the parking lot, in the locker rooms, that say, do not leave valuables in the car. Mike Dippolito is going to tell you that they knew of several burglaries, burglaries that had happened. Why does she go to the gym and take all her jewelry? Because she was worried that she would get robbed when they came in to kill her husband. Now, when she goes to the gym that morning, the Boynton Beach Police Department, they got creative. And what they decided to do was they decided to stage a crime scene. They staged a crime scene to show her that her husband had been killed, to further show her intent was to have him murdered. They wanted to see what her reaction would be to the horrific news of a newlywed's husband being murdered, being shot 2 times in the head, just like the hitman said. So what happens on that morning of August 5th of 2009? Sergeant Frank Ramsey from the Boynton Beach Police Department, he calls the defendant on her cell phone when she's at the gym working out. He leaves a message and he says he needs to get a call right back from her. She calls him back and he tells her she needs to come home right away, that there's been an incident. And as she drives up to her home at 1329 Via de Pepe in Boynton Beach, Florida, she sees crime scene tape. She sees the streets blocked off. She sees a crime scene van and officers all around. The door to her house is wide open with crime scene tape and fingerprint dust all over the door because they wanted to make it look like a true and actual crime scene. She immediately walks up to Sergeant Ramsey. In a consoling manner, he tells her, I'm sorry, your husband's been killed. Before he can even finish the word killed, she's crying hysterically. She's sobbing. And he asks, does your husband have any enemies? Her response is, he's on probation. In all of her sobbing, you will hear there were no tears. You will see her reaction when she's questioned by detectives of the Boynton Beach Police Department. You will see her reaction when they show her undercover agent Woody John. And they tell her, guess what? He works for the Boynton Beach Police Department. You will see her reaction when they tell her her husband's alive and they show him to her. Ladies and gentlemen, they say love is blind. In this case, love was blind, deaf, and dumb. You're gonna meet Mike Dippolito.
Is she serious?
Oh, I forgot to unmute myself, which would make me dumb. But I don't think her ex-husband was like the smartest guy in the room, but I wouldn't say that.
Is he blind, deaf, and dumb?
Almost.
Sorry, like, you look like you were made in a sausage factory. Cut it out. Like, just, stop judging. God dang it. Jeez.
Yes, he survived. She did not take him out.
Side-eyed. This dude survived.
Yes. And he will be our witness tomorrow and for a few days after that. But he sure she could play a mean pinball. I want to sing it, but
She could.
she could. So yeah, the victim, her ex-husband, is alive, much to her dismay.
I mean, good for this woman for even moving in that suit, because
Good for that suit for hanging on.
I mean, they must have the string that's holding on those buttons of this thing are extreme. They must be made out of bamboo. I mean, come on. I mean, let's be real here.
Lefty, man, how useless is this defendant? Couldn't even eat a guy efficiently. How is she going to be expected to keep a house clean? I don't know that she was. She probably had hired help.
You know what? Those are the people who can't handle things. They get hired help, and they can't do anything themselves.
Oh, I am looking forward to it, Frank. Tube of busted biscuits. I read YouTube of busted biscuits.
I can make so many jokes right now, and I'm not thin by any means. I mean, I'm a little chubby, but I just wouldn't wear that. I would not.
No,
I wouldn't just go to the store and put this suit on and be like, dang, I look good. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking the same thing, Bri. If you just hear bing, 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 like
that's what I said.
There's going to be some injuries, maybe some casualties.
I'm just waiting for her to cough just once.
There's going to be, yeah. And it's just going to, somebody's going to come back with an eye patch the next day. And because they've already been to lunch. Okay. So
Peggy the Pirate, we need one of those, especially in this trial. Come on now.
What's up, Christy? When I said casualties, I meant fatalities. They're doing her dirty with these camera angles. Well, this is from 2011, so they probably hadn't figured it out yet.
Well, I mean, but also she could have chosen a different suit as well.
She's making it easy. Not on the suit.
Yeah, I mean, she's struggling here, to move is my point. Does she have good circulation in all of her limbs is what I'm worried about. Because this jacket I'm worried for her health, basically.
Her circulation.
Yes. I mean, that's important.
Cut off. Snipe, did you ask if she can make a good sandwich?
Probably not.
The prosecutor or the defendant. I wouldn't trust the defendant to make me a sandwich. 'Cause
I mean, this woman could not make you a good sandwich in this suit, but maybe like in a jogging suit, she could make an amazing sandwich.
Katie, that is very true. Just go up one size.
Yes,
because
that's what I'm
I don't-
saying.
You can take 10 size 10s and they all fit different. So like, who cares about the number? Just wear what freaking fits.
Exactly. I mean,
I
she
get
had to
it.
tape something down to button that. I mean, have you seen what the buttons look like? Have you seen it? Because I
They're-
did, and
They're screaming for help.
I squinted my eyes when I looked at them.
I don't know how she drove in that, honestly.
No, seriously though, like when you sit down, that's a 3-button jacket. When you sit down, you gotta unbutton that.
Only 3? I thought there was like 5.
Oh, I thought there was only 3.
There's
That's what I
probably is
saw.
only 3. They just stretched. I don't know.
They're stretched, that's for sure. But
To the limit. To the limit. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, she'll turn around soon.
Frank,
I'm just-
I don't know if this showed up. No, it didn't. It's Frank said, I bet she can make whipped cream with her nipples.
Oh, Frank.
Oh, Frank. You know, class act. I love it.
Those buttons have so much potential energy.
Seriously. They're about to go nuclear real quick.
Those aren't buttons, they're rivets.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. She does look nervous. I was thinking there was something wrong with that court reporter. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I just thank you. If she coughs, they will have to charge her with indecent exposure.
And potentially, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Just putting that out there.
What's up, Sharon? Happy New Year to you. I hope your New Year's started off better than I know last year ended for you.
Hey, Sharon. Hey.
Well, you didn't like her see no evil comment? Do no evil? I don't know. She
Monkey see-
knows one of those rivets are about to burst like the Titanic.
Yeah. And you know what? You can't save. Obviously, don't even get me started on the Titanic. Good Lord. It'll be a whole friggin' stream.
Yes, no. You mean the court reporters? It is Carol Brady. I can't even get it.
Blind, deaf, and dumb, AJ.
Whatever. I guess I didn't make any New Year's resolutions.
No, I never do. Because I never follow through.
My only one right now is to stay out of jail. So
I mean,
winning
obviously,
so far.
it's always
Good.
mine. I've been winning at that for a while now, but
Yeah, I'm doing good.
I promise nothing.
Get the women and children out of the front row, folks. Okay, gotta play.
That was the line, Lefty. You just hit
No,
the
you
line
didn't.
there.
No, I could read these all night because they're so funny.
Yeah, they're hilarious. We gotta keep going.
But we gotta see what she has to say.
Blind
about-
children was the line. Thanks, Lefty.
That should be difficult for me to stay out of jail. You heard I was straight up G.
Oh man, I got a
Sometimes-
guy, so let me
Yeah.
know.
Sometimes rumors be true.
They do. They do be true. North side.
North side. Okay.
Mike Dippolito, right here. The defendant's husband, who she was trying to have killed. You're gonna meet Mohammed Shihada, and you're gonna meet Michael Stanley. And you're gonna meet the defendant the way she was back on August of 2009. Mike Dippolito is going to tell you he had no idea that his new bride was trying to have him killed. She told him she loved him. They thought they were happy, or he thought they were happy, and he showered her with gifts. You're going to hear that Mike Dippolito is a convicted felon. He's currently on probation. Then in 2002, he had a severe drug problem. He stole a total of $191,000 from several victims. You're going to hear that he pled guilty. He cooperated with police. He served 2 years in prison and was on probation for 28 years. And his probation requires that he make equal monthly payments towards his restitution. What you're going to hear is a story about how Mike Dippolito was trying to pay back the entire restitution amount, the $191,000. He hired a lawyer to help him get off probation early. And you're going to meet that lawyer. He's going to come in here and he's going to tell you about representing Mike Dippolito. He's going to tell you that there was no guarantee that if Mike Dippolito paid off the entire amount of restitution, that his probation would end early. Mike Dippolito will tell you that his wife offered to help him pay that restitution amount. She said that she would put $91,000 of her own money and combine it with $100,000 of Mike Dippolito's money, so that he could get off probation, so that they could travel, so that they could have a normal life as a married couple. And you're going to hear that Mike Dippolito gave her the $100,000 that they agreed upon between February and the beginning of March of 2009. You're also going to hear that there was no transfer of the $191,000 to Mike Dippolito's lawyer, Michael Enton. And then you're going to hear a series of events starting back in March 16th of 2009, days after Mike Dippolito gave the last of the $100,000 to his wife. You're going to see this timeline. March 16th of 2009. The defendant, actually on March 15th of 2009, the defendant suggests a romantic night away with her husband at the Ritz-Carlton in Manalapan. She makes the plans. She even pays for their night. And as they leave the next morning, the valet is bringing Mike Dippolito's gray Tahoe around to the front of the hotel. And as they walk out, the Manalapan police stop Mike Dippolito. And they tell him, hey, we got an anonymous call that came in saying that you're selling drugs out of your car, that you're dealing drugs out of your car. We need to search the car. He lets them. They don't find any drugs that day. The next day, Mike Dippolito is getting gas in his car, and he opens the gas tank. He takes off the gas cap, and he finds a plastic bag full of cocaine and Xanax. Mike Dippolito is going to tell you how scared he is to go back to prison, how scared he was back then that his probation could get violated, and that he believed he could go to prison for the entire remaining amount of time that he had left on his probation. What you're going to hear is that on the next day, March 17th of 2009, the defendant goes to her friend, Mohammed Shihada, that we talked about, and she asks Mohammed to help her. She tells him she's in trouble, that her husband's abusive to her, and that she needs to get him arrested. So he engages an officer from the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department, Officer Robert Wilson. And he puts the defendant in touch with Officer Wilson, starting back on March 17th of 2009. And the defendant calls Officer Wilson and she asks him if she can pay him to arrest her husband. If she can pay him to arrest her husband for dealing drugs. She assures Officer Wilson that if she's in the car with her husband and they drive into Palm Beach Gardens, that he will find drugs in the car. She also tells Officer Wilson that she had already tried to have the victim, Mike Dippolito, arrested for selling drugs, but the other police department never found the drugs in his car. Does that sound vaguely familiar? Officer Wilson then tells her he's not going to assist her. He's not paid for doing things like that. She tells him she had wanted to have his probation violated, her husband's probation violated, and that she wanted him arrested. That she was determined. Because remember, when she says she's going to do something, she's going to do it. Now, a little more than a week after Officer Wilson tells her that he wanted nothing to do with setting up her husband, she goes to City Place one night with her husband, Mike Dippolito. Spur of the moment, trip to City Place. Nobody else knows about it but her and Mike. They have a nice dinner. And that was on March 29th of 2009. Now what happens there is as they're walking out of dinner into the City Place parking garage, officers from the West Palm Beach Police Department have encircled Mike Dippolito's gray Tahoe. There's canine drug dogs out there, and they tell him, guess what? You know how it's gonna go. We got an anonymous call. Somebody saying that you're selling drugs out of your car. In fact, there's a kilo of cocaine. Can we search your car? Mike Dippolito says, sure. He signs a consent to search. He's really upset. And Officer Hooper from the West Palm Beach Police Department is gonna come in and tell you he was terrified. He thought he might go back to prison. He even had tears in his eyes. What happens is they find a cigarette box with a small amount of cocaine underneath the spare tire. The officers decide they're not going to arrest him. They base that on their knowledge, their training, their experience, and they think that he didn't know that the drugs were there. You're also going to hear about the restitution money. One of the things you're going to hear about the $100,000 restitution money that was given to the defendant is that on March 18th of 2009, the day after the defendant spoke to Officer Wilson for the first time, the defendant purchases a Range Rover from Mohammed Shihada. A used Range Rover. She pays $38,000, writes a cashier, has a check drawn from her bank account. She buys Mohammed Shihada a Range Rover with her husband's restitution money. Now, what's interesting is that Mike Dippolito bought a house on January 28th of 2009. It's the house, 1329 Via de Pepe, that he was supposed to be murdered in. He bought the house days before he married the defendant. He married her on February 2nd of 2009. And not too long after they got married, on February 20th of 2009, he changes the title to the house so that it can be in both of their names because they're now married. And that was at the defendant's suggestion. At the time of the City Place incident, the money to pay off his restitution still has not made it to Mike Dippolito's lawyer's account. The defendant keeps giving him excuses about where it is. She tells him she wired it through the Cayman Islands. She even shows him a receipt. You're gonna hear she never wired the money. You're gonna look at her bank records. You're gonna hear testimony from someone from Bank of America who's gonna tell you she never had $91,000 in her account at any time. She spent much of the $100,000 that he gave her on other things besides that Range Rover. The Range Rover that she bought for the guy who actually turns her into the police. The guy who she has a physical relationship with, even though she's married. She fails to violate Mike Dippolito's probation, although she's trying. So what she does is she enlists the help of her friend, Carrie Brown, and her friend's husband, Eric Tall. And on March 31st of 2009, Eric Tall gives the defendant a cashier's check for $191,000 made payable to his attorney, Michael Enton. And you'll get to see that cashier's check. You'll get to hear that it really exists. And you're going to hear a story about what happened with that check. And you will learn that Mike Dippolito's restitution still has never been paid and that he is now out a total of $240,000 because of the defendant. Now, around this time, Mike Dippolito is upset about his restitution. He wants to be off probation, and you betcha he talks to the defendant about it all the time. He asks her where his money is. He accuses her even of stealing his money, and he accuses her of trying to set him up. But love is blind. And on May 1st of 2009, the defendant gets creative. She tries to create a distraction for Mike Dippolito. She tries to convince him that she's not behind the stealing of his money and that she's not behind trying to set him up and have his probation violated. She tells him that she got a call from someone claiming to be a detective from the Boynton Beach Police Department on May 1st of 2009. And
You guys are cracking me up. Ronnie, thank you so much for the super chat, and you are welcome for streaming this trial. Thank you, Frank, for requesting it. I have to, hats off to him. Iris, thank you.
I'm dead at that one. Like,
Super
are you
chat.
kidding me?
I will tag you if one of the buttons fly.
I got you. If they fly, I'm going to go back and get the timestamp for you and message it in the group message just so you know where to start from.
Yes. We will definitely let you know.
Absolutely.
Have a good night, Iris. What did she say? Nah.
Put me on screen for
Put me on
live
screen for
reaction.
live reaction. We can do that too.
Totally. That's totally possible.
We can do
Make
that.
it short.
We'll even make it in slow-mo so you can
Yeah.
really see it.
And it'll just be like my voice being like, oh, I told you, motherfuckers.
Could be you cackling like the chicken.
Yeah.
He was lucky she was almost as dumb as he was.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, how in the world do you hand over that amount of money? Just like give it to your attorney and then be like, okay, that's paid. Now I owe this much. Instead of none of it's paid and now you owe even more.
No.
I am not good with AI.
No, AI sucks. Get a real artist. How about that?
I think he was saying you could make it pop off of
Yeah,
there.
no. We don't want to make it with AI. Thank you though.
Okay then. Thanks, Zach.
Zach, I love
welcome
you,
back.
but yeah, I mean, that's what you come back with after all these months. That's what you're coming back with. Come on, get a better gig, you know?
Bobby probably has a clip from Carmen Motorboating from Shinny's we can add to it. I hope so.
Oh my God. That would be
I
hilarious.
hope so. And
No,
there it
Zach,
is.
you
First
shut up.
one of the year. Shut up.
No, he actually didn't.
Oh.
He said it earlier, and I said, "Oh,
Second.
Zach, anything for my hungry guy." I have missed
AI
you, Zach, but
is only good at making me look like a hot elf.
Haley's not that bad looking. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, she's pretty nice looking.
Yeah,
And
Ronnie.
not to be. I hope I don't make guys jealous, but she is my Discord wife, so back off.
I
Putting that out there.
am with Ronnie. If my husband like had a bill of that amount and had that there was that much money to put towards the bill, he's not going to hand it to me and be like, go do this. He'd be like, I'll just take care of it.
No, what would happen with me in my relationship is my husband would have no say in taking any of the money, and I would take it and I would actually pay the bill.
I mean, if he gave it to me, I would go pay the bill. I wouldn't go like whatever dumb thing she said in the Cayman Islands and then be like,
Yeah.
don't ask where I got the new Land Rover or whatever she got. Like, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. AI makes you look more like Jesus.
It kind of does, actually. I'm not
I bet
gonna
it
lie.
can.
Well, because Bobby wears the like guinea tees. He has the like long hair. He has the kind of like the little goatee beard kind of thing. So AI kind of makes it. He does kind of look like Jesus. I'm not saying you are Jesus. I'm just saying it kind of makes you look like Jesus.
Well, I hate to ask this question, but it's probably naked Jesus.
Well, probably now at this time of night. Yeah.
I wonder if he was putting the money in her name for some nefarious reasons. I think she had the nefarious reasons. But maybe. I don't know. That's all kind of weird. Because I don't know why he has that much money either. I'm sure we'll find out if it's legit. I know that we're on the not legit side of things.
Yeah.
All
so
right,
what,
she-
Dazzer? What are you trying to say?
That he has more access to her than you do.
Well,
He can get to
all
her
I gotta do is-
faster. She was a lady of the night with nefarious ideas.
I made it, Shinny.
And I like
love
you.
you.
What's up, Shinny?
I made it. Hi, Shinny.
I just saw the thumbnail. She's hot. She also, when you see the video of her, needs to stay out of the tanning bed. This is post tanning bed here, where she hasn't
Yeah,
been able to for a
she's-
while because she had way too much tanning bed.
Well, I mean, I guess it's, it is Florida, so.
There was a lot of tanning bed, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I'm not
You
going to
can
argue with you, but
You kind of just tell.
yeah.
And she
It's
had
like
this-
spray tan. It looks kind of sprayy.
Yeah. It
Like
could be that.
streaks.
Yeah, you could kind of tell. She looks better here than
Yeah,
when
honestly, that
she got arrested.
picture of her right there doesn't even look like the same picture of her on the thumbnail.
Yeah, I didn't make that. I'll be honest with you. I did AI at that.
I
because
know you did.
I was having problems and I had tried it and then I was trying to do my own thing and then I was like, you know what? How would you make this? And that's what I came up with. And I was like, perfect. Thank you.
Stop licking yourself. Stop licking my.
Stop licking my. All right, we're almost in, and the fence's opening is about the same length as hers, so
All right.
they're not like terrible.
You're going to hear that call really wasn't from the Boynton Beach Police Department, but someone who spoofed a call. And a spoof call is basically a way of masking a number on the caller ID to make it seem as if the call is coming from a different number. You're actually going to hear from the inventor of the spoof call. He's going to come in, he's going to tell you how it works, and he's going to show you records. And you're going to see the phone records where the spoof call came from a friend of the defendants and not actually from the Boynton Beach Police Department. And you're going to hear how Mike Dippolito thought that really was a call that came from the Boynton Beach Police Department. He thought it so much that he and the defendant went down to the police department to inquire if there really was Detective Hurley that worked there. And they learned there was no such person. You're also going to hear about an incident with a note that was left on Mike Dippolito's car on May 27th of 2009 when he and the defendant were working out at the LA Fitness in Boynton Beach. After they worked out, they went to the car and there was a note left telling Mike Dippolito to bring $40,000 and a person will tell him everything he needs to know about his wife with a phone number, a 305 phone number. The defendant then calls the police. Police officer comes and he takes a statement from the both of them. And you will hear that Mike Dippolito is so shaken up about this incident, so concerned with these incidents that have happened and with his probation being violated, that he can't even write out a statement. Guess who writes it for him? The defendant. And after the police leave on that day, you're going to see from the phone records that the defendant actually calls the number on the note, and she has a phone conversation with this mystery person. Then she calls the police and she tells them that the person threatened to kill her and also Mike Dippolito. And what you're going to hear from Officer Gilbert from the Boynton Beach Police Department is that the defendant never once tells the officer that she's the one who called the number. Now, these two incidents are to make Mike Dippolito think that she is not the one trying to harm him by taking his money or have him arrested. In July, he's still asking about his restitution. He still wants to get off probation. And he keeps getting excuse after excuse and promise after promise from the defendant about getting his money back, about helping getting him off probation. The defendant gets desperate. She thinks that Mike Dippolito might be getting wise as to what she has done. So what she does is she reaches out for her ex-boyfriend.
All the buttons are working hard. Dang, Zach. Wow. Zach said your mom was working hard, Dave. I didn't. He came back with some sass.
Boyfriend, Michael Stanley. Now, she lived with Mike Stanley in California prior to meeting the defendant and moving in with him. Now, once she gets back in contact with Michael Stanley, she immediately begins telling him how much she loves him, how much she misses him, how much she wants to be with him, this newlywed of 6 months. She convinces Mike Stanley to come visit her in West Palm Beach. And he stays at the Marriott right on Okeechobee Boulevard, not once, but 2 times in the month of July of 2009. The second time, 9 days before her husband is to be murdered. From the text messages that you're going to hear and you're going to be able to read, you're going to see that this was a very steamy affair. The defendant used sex as a tool to manipulate Mike Stanley into doing whatever she wants. And what she wanted was to have her husband locked up, his probation violated, have him sent away to prison. So she directs Mike Stanley over the course of about 15 days in ways to hurt her husband. She gives him her husband's bank account numbers. She tells him to call the Department of Treasury, the IRS, the Inspector General's office, and the Department of Corrections probation officer to try to have his money frozen, his accounts frozen, and his probation violated. Mike Stanley calls the probation officer and says, guess what? Mike Dippolito's selling drugs. He's selling steroids. They plot via text message what is the best way to have his probation violated. The defendant suggests, why don't we plant drugs in Mike Dippolito's car? Have you heard that one before? She suggests they plant Xanax and cocaine. And wouldn't you know, those are the same drugs found in Mike Dippolito's gas tank on March 16th of 2009 at the Ritz-Carlton in Manalapan, or right after then. Mike Stanley and the defendant talk about setting Mike Dippolito up for dealing steroids. They talk about how happy they will be once he's jammed up. And Mike Stanley tells her she needs to take care of her mess so that they can be together. The defendant has such control over Mike Stanley. just like she does over Mike Dippolito, because love is blind, deaf, and dumb. He doesn't even see that she's using him. Next, she devises a plan to try to get Mike Dippolito to sign the house over to her. She wants that house, the house at 1329 Via de Pepe, 3-story townhouse. So she has Mike Stanley pretend to be a lawyer. He spoofs a call to Mike Dippolito, and it comes from a 305 number, and it comes back to the courthouse in Miami. And Michael Stanley gives Mike Dippolito legal advice when he talks to him on the phone. He tells him that he'll help him get off probation. And Mike Dippolito thinks his wife has done a wonderful thing. She's found him a lawyer that can help him. Mike Dippolito believed this was a real lawyer, and he followed his advice. And one of the things that this lawyer, that was Michael Stanley, pretending to be someone named Richard, told him was to write a letter to the judge. Write a letter to the judge who's handling your case and ask him if you can be on administrative probation. And what you need to do is you need to take that letter, that handwritten letter that you write to the judge, down to the courthouse in Miami. And I'll meet you. I'll get that letter from you. So Mike Dippolito writes out that letter, and he and the defendant get in his car and they drive down to Miami to the steps of the courthouse. But the lawyer, Richard, who's really Mike Stanley, is too busy to meet with them. So he sends his paralegal, Sergio, to meet with Mike Dippolito and take the letter. And what you're going to hear is that Sergio is actually a friend of the defendant's mother, Randa Mohammed, and that she asked Sergio to do a favor for her, to meet her daughter down at the courthouse and just take a piece of paper from her. Sergio is going to tell you, he's going to come in here and he's going to testify. He didn't know what it was about, but that he met the victim. He took this piece of paper, and guess where it was? On the courthouse steps in Miami. Now, Mike Dippolito was also told by the fake lawyer, Richard, that because he owed so much restitution, that he shouldn't have any assets in his name. So what do you think he does? He transfers the title of his house over to his wife. And after Mike Dippolito agrees to sign the house over to his wife, the defendant sends a text message to Mike Stanley. She says, "We've accomplished one huge goal this week, and that is the house. I just need you to help figure out the rest for next week." And that's July 31st of 2009. And what happens the next week? The next week is when her husband is supposed to be murdered. And just after the title is transferred over on July 31st of 2009, because Mike Dippolito actually follows through and he goes to Independence Title down there in Del Rey. And you're going to hear from Todd Serber, who actually did the paperwork and transferred the title. And right after that title's transferred, the defendant sends another text message to Michael Stanley on July 31st of 2009. She says, "Did the transfer, but he said, because we are married, I can't sell it without a signature, even though it's in my name." And later that afternoon, the defendant meets with Mohammed Shihada and tells him she's serious about wanting her husband killed. She even tries to steal Mohammed's gun and says she could do it herself. You're also going to see calls on the defendant's phone to someone named Larry Coe from Riviera Beach. And Mohammed's going to tell you that Larry and the guys that he hung out with in 2009 were a dangerous crowd, and that the defendant has spoken to them prior about killing her husband. Mohammed thinks she's serious, which is why he goes to the police. And you're also going to hear a call after the defendant's arrested. It's a call she makes from jail to her mom. And she says to her mom, I heard Mike's in my house. That's my house. The title's in my name. This is after she's been arrested for trying to have her husband killed. The crime of solicitation to commit first-degree murder with a firearm. The state has to prove that the defendant solicited Whitty Jean, or John, people are going to say it different, to commit first-degree murder with a firearm. During the solicitation, the defendant commanded, encouraged, hired, or requested Whitty John to engage in specific conduct which should constitute the commission of first-degree murder with a firearm or an attempt to commit first-degree murder with a firearm. First-degree murder is premeditated murder, consciously deciding prior to killing somebody for the killing to take place. After you hear all of the evidence, listen to the tapes, after you watch the videos, after you read the text messages, the state will have proven to you the defendant committed this crime beyond a reasonable doubt. You will see how determined she was to have Mike Dippolito, her husband, killed. When she says she's going to do something, she's going to do it.
All right, thank you, Ms. Parker.
Yeah. You can't find your pants. Do you have to have, like, if you lived where I lived, you could just walk outside and nobody'd ever know. You have no pants. You like her. You like the story. Well, you know, she only sounds like stole $100,000 from him and his house and tried to put him in prison. She's a swell girl. She's a swell gal. The kind you take home to mom. Just hold your yeah, Bobby, just hold your kitty in front of you. All right, so this one is like 30 seconds longer than hers. Sorry. I guess I don't either. I don't know. That's a you problem. Yeah. This lady is trifling if this opening statement is legit. Okay, so John or Jean, is that sorry, I'll probably sound really stupid. Are they interchanging that? Is it French? Is it spelled like Jean? Is that, and all I could think of was French. I don't know French. You guys are probably like, that's obvious. I need Ash here. Ash knows French. You think they need some major marriage counseling? I don't think that's going to help. I don't know. Zach, I'm not even reading that. Not even reading that. It's probably Queen saying grain. Oh, whoever, I think you might know French. That's the only thing I could come up with, is why they were getting it. So, why they kept saying it two different ways. All right, here we go with the defense opening. And, oh, sorry, did I put an R in it where there shouldn't have been one? Pants are prison, I know, but I still have mine on. Just saying. All right, let's see what they've got to say.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We live in a world where the media has proven time and time again that it is used by people from all walks of life as a means to an end. We live in a world where the line between the reality of TV and people's real lives get blurred. We live in a world where people seeking their 15 minutes of fame lose all sense of judgment and common sense. The power that people give to the media, no matter who these people are, can have an impact on how they live their lives. And in this case, the evidence will show that people tried to use the media to hopefully gain exposure and that brief moment of fame that they can turn into opportunity and money. The evidence will show that Mike Dippolito enjoyed watching reality TV. Mike will tell you that he watches Jersey Shore, that he finds it amazing that people make money doing this, but he thinks it's cool. He was a fan of the show Cheaters. Now, that's the show where one person in a relationship suspects the other of infidelity, and the show basically investigates the suspicion. The show plants a hidden camera and stalks the suspected partner until there's enough footage for the confrontation episode. The cameras roll, and they roll to catch the emotion and the drama that springs from the confrontation. Michael claims to have actually purchased for his wife, Dalia, a boxed set of all the episodes of Cheaters. It also came with a tank top with the logo of the show on it for her to wear. Now, the evidence will show that for many, reality TV shows depict the worst of our society. They're superficial, they're artificial, and they're filled with attention-getting, hokey drama. For others, reality TV has become a way to launch a center stage career. Reality TV has evolved from letting real life play out in front of the camera to a meticulously produced television program packaged to hold the viewer's attention. The evidence will show that reality TV is not as real as it's portrayed to the public. Producers sometimes engineer situations to activate the desired reactions from the actors, who are often carefully chosen at casting calls. Sometimes people just act as they're going through what they believe to be a reality TV moment. Producers pore over footage, splicing it together to create the most attention-grabbing entertainment episodes. Almost anybody can go to a website and read about how to make a reality TV show. The trick is to come up with a unique idea that would be picked up by a real producer and a real production team. The evidence will show that when Dalia Dippolito was younger, she was actually an extra on a reality TV show. It was called Jamie Kennedy's Experiment. And ironically, the episode in which she was an extra involved a fake hit on someone. The evidence will show that reality TV often glorifies what we call bad behavior that appeals to the gullibility of people. The evidence will show that the plot for the contract killing of Mike Dippolito was never real. It was a stunt. It was a hoax, a ruse, a plan that Mike Dippolito, whether he'll admit it or not, hoped to capture the attention of someone in reality TV. And while he'll never tell you this, the evidence will show you that his motives were very clear. The evidence will also show you that, as it so happened, one of the original and possibly the oldest reality TV show on television is also involved in this case. The TV show Cops was coincidentally in South Florida to ride with the Boynton Beach Police Department during the week that Miss Dippolito was arrested. Now, Mike Dippolito had to come up with an idea that was dramatically unique, that had an interesting, attractive couple, which he hoped would hold the viewing public's attention. The newlywed angle was also appealing. And one of the first things done was to create the idea that strange things have been happening. He proceeds to describe it.
They have, they were filming an episode of Cops that day in Florida that the hit was supposed to go down. So they have that of them having the street closed down and her coming home and them telling her that there's been an incident in her house, basically, and then that her husband is passed away. They have all of that, and it's insane. That's on the opening video I did. That's where some of they're kind of blurry because one, they're old pictures of still shots of that day in the video. So yeah, it wasn't intentional. Sarah Boone defense, and it was a prank. It was a prank, bro. Yes, it is all Cops' fault, you know. Like, well, On Patrol. I love it now. I was sad when they canceled it, and I'm glad it's back. And they're always in Florida. It's pretty bad. I don't think she can answer any question. How much of their interactions are on film? I can't answer that question. I don't know. You can probably find them somewhere, Zach. You know, I'm glad I'm not the only person in the world that likes that. I can listen to the police scanner all day. I don't have one, but when I get around somebody that does, I'm like, don't turn that off. I can't question it. It is solid, Frank. And we're only 5 minutes in.
His car being searched by the police after a night with his wife at the Ritz-Carlton, where they paid for a room that was about $700 for one night. And again, inside the garage at City Place. He tells of a cloak and dagger type note that was left on his windshield, demanding $40,000. When you combine that with the liposuction, the orthodontic braces, the expensive clothing, a Porsche, a Corvette, trips to the tanning salon, lots of cash, and a beautiful young wife, we believe that the evidence points to an orchestrated stunt to get Mike Dippolito in front of the cameras. The evidence will show that Mike Dippolito and the Boynton Beach Police Department both wanted to use the media as a means to an end. The Boynton Beach Police Department wanted to enhance community relations by letting citizens know how their police department worked in order to protect the community. Using the media to increase awareness and communicate information is a good thing. But the evidence in this case will show that the best of intentions, when hit with the white hot spotlight of the media, get pushed aside. We believe the evidence in this case will show that a 33-year veteran of the Boynton Beach Police Department who supervised this investigation became so focused on cooperating with the production of the show Cops that even his good judgment was set aside. But let's go back to the beginning and let's look at and talk about all the quote players in this story that I call Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. Dalia and Mike Dippolito met in October of 2008. She was living in California with a man named Mike Stanley. You've already heard about Mike Stanley from the prosecution. She was back in Florida for a visit when she met Mr. Dippolito. A very short time later, she returns to Florida and moves in with Mike Dippolito. He was separated from his then wife at the time, but the divorce was not yet final. Now, the evidence will show that January 28th, 2009 was a memorable day for Mike Dippolito. His divorce was finalized. He and Dalia filed for their marriage license, and Mike Dippolito paid $238,000 in cash for a home at a place called Ferenz at the Renaissance Common Development in Boynton Beach. But the evidence will also show you something that the prosecution didn't tell you about. The evidence will show that on that day, Mike Dippolito withdrew $226,922 in cash from his bank and had Dalia purchase a cashier's check in her maiden name, which was then paid to Independence Title Company for the mortgage-free home. After Mike's divorce was finalized, he quitclaimed the deed into both of their names. You'll learn that Mike Dippolito lived a very fast and high-end lifestyle. He's very concerned with appearance, both physically and socially. He now drives a Porsche, which he had fitted with very expensive trim and trappings. Just a week before this stunt was to take place, he paid $5,545 for liposuction. He paid his orthodontist cash for his braces. His bank records show that he goes to a tanning salon on a regular basis and belongs to a health club. The records will also show that he has taken out an enormous amount of cash from his bank accounts, notwithstanding him wanting you to believe that he has none, or he's losing it, or it was stolen from him. Now, although Mike Dippolito isn't on trial, he's a prosecution witness in this case. He is a witness that the state is using to prosecute Dalia Dippolito. And as with any witness, your responsibility is to judge the credibility, believability, and if the witness has anything to gain by testifying in a particular way. At the conclusion of the case, you're going to get specific instructions from Judge Colbath, and he'll tell you what you have to consider when you evaluate a witness's testimony. These rules apply to all witnesses in this case, including Mike Dippolito. Now, the evidence will show that there's another side to Mike Dippolito. He went to prison in May of 2003. He was running a foreign currency scam. He called people up on the phone and asked them if they wanted to invest money, and he never invested in anything. Essentially, he was a thief. He got caught, and he pleaded guilty. He pleaded guilty to unlicensed telemarketing, communications fraud, and grand theft, all felony crimes. He received 2 years in prison and 28 years probation as it all computes out. He had a special condition to pay about $191,000 to all of the individuals that he victimized. The evidence will show that that number, $191,000, is very significant in this case. Mike Dippolito repeatedly claimed that his desire was to pay off his restitution. But the evidence will show that despite all the talk, he had no intention of paying back that money. Throughout the course of this trial, you'll see evidence, as I mentioned previously, that Mike Dippolito took cash, sometimes in very large amounts, out of his accounts. Oh, and also out of a canvas bag in a safe deposit box, and gave the money to his wife. He'll tell you that when he got out of prison, his first job was as a line cook with the Fridays restaurant chain. Between the time he left prison and the time that he met Dalia Dippolito, he amassed over $500,000. The evidence will show that Mike Dippolito could have paid off that restitution several times over before he ever met Miss Dippolito. And we intend to talk to him about that. And you'll see that as of February 2009, almost $80,000 a month was going out of his account. The evidence will also show that Mike Dippolito gave his wife a series of checks in amounts between $6,000 and $7,000 from February through, I believe, the end of March 2009. Mr. Dippolito would have you believe that he was giving that money to his wife to hold so that he could pay his restitution. It will become clear that Mr. Dippolito uses the excuse of paying back restitution every time it involves himself with some type of money-making scheme. Dalia Dippolito didn't know that the checks he gave her were to be put aside for restitution. She used it to pay for their lavish lifestyle. Mike Dippolito is the person who controlled this relationship. He had all the money and he exerted the power over his wife. He told her what she should wear and how she should look. He would take her cell phone to check who was calling and who she was calling. Dalia's own mother realized that she had become a different person after she became involved with Mike Dippolito. When they went out, they would run into people occasionally from Mike's past, and Dalia became concerned that he was falling back to his old ways. He'd come up with this story and plan for reality TV, which was absolutely crazy. She thought that this was ridiculous, but that maybe in a way to stop him attempting to violate his probation might put an end to what Mike wanted to do. She was scared, and she didn't know what to do. She was confused, and her thinking was that if his probation were violated, this would all end. Her husband told her not to worry, that when the story played itself out, the police would be notified and everything would be fine. Mike Dippolito, however, had other ideas, and the result has been devastating to Dalia Dippolito. He not only controlled her, but he turned on her and acted as if he had no idea as to what was going on. The evidence, however, will show that Mike Dippolito made some critical mistakes, which will become evident to you as the case unfolds. Mike Dippolito didn't want to pay the restitution, but he did want his probation status changed. And he shopped for lawyers, but he'll tell you that he always found a way. Well, he won't tell you, you'll see it from the evidence, that he always managed to find a way to squelch the relationship with those lawyers before any real progress could be made. One of the lawyers he used is a man by the name of Michael Enton, a very nice guy and a criminal defense lawyer from Broward County. And in this instance, Mike Enton was going to help Mike Dippolito get off of probation. And at some point, there was actually a check for $191,000 that Michael Dippolito had cobbled together. The restitution could have been paid, and the petition for a change in status could have been done in a matter of hours. This was a simple matter, something very easy for a criminal lawyer to do on behalf of a client. Mr. Enton, in reliance on Mike Dippolito's promises, had actually written the prosecutor in Broward County and had drafted a motion for early termination of probation. But in typical fashion, Mike Dippolito tried to engineer the arrangements, overcomplicate things, and take control. The payment was never received. The restitution was never paid, and the lawyer became so angry with Mike Dippolito and Dalia Dippolito that he threw them out of his office, saying he never wanted to see them again. Mohammed Shihada. Let's talk about him. Oops. Can everyone see that? Can you see that? Okay, that's a photograph of Mohammed Shihada. We'll talk about this in a minute. I have another one to show you. That's a photograph of Mohammed Shihada. Years before she met Mike Dippolito, Dalia had a relationship with a man named Mohammed Shihada. Mr. Shihada claims that he made his living running a convenience grocery store and is a part-time gambler. The evidence will show that he's made as much as
What are we looking at? Become a model or actor, apply here. I can't read what that says below.
That's the 90s, 80s Macy's catalog. That's what that is.
I mean, they don't just have a picture of him. What the heck is? Something about castings down below. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's not even really him. That's just some random guy in the catalog,
We are looking at an egg.
basically. An egg and a blue shirt.
I hope so, Ronnie. Oh my gosh. Yes, he does. He absolutely does. Don't answer that, Carmen. Barbizon, is that what that is? Oh my gosh, I remember that. Like Conehead. You said Cumhead. I don't know. Snipe, there you go. Let's say you might have meant either one. So I don't know. I wasn't going to correct you. Except I did. Barbizon. Awesome. Do you remember Barbizon, Gabby?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Oh my gosh, it was that's what it was. If you wanted to become a model or an actor, you like go to Barbizon. Like you can sign up for their school. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we had that over here.
I bet you did.
Maybe, but I never heard of it.
Carmen. Wow. It's still out there? Barbizon is still a thing? Fascinating. East Coast East Coast don't know about any of this nonsense. You're protected over there in the East Coast. All right. Yes, all the time in the 70s and 80s, because I remember them. And I wasn't too young for a lot of the 70s, but I do remember them in the 80s. Crazy, crazy. Talent Scout. Yep. Oh, John's on the East Coast and he remembers Barbizon, not Barbie's son. Oh, Fat Dazzler and Carmen. I'm leaving that whole conversation alone.
What's that, cold packing?
No. Carmen said, but I took your mom for a ride, and he said, what are you, a necrophiliac? So
Yeah, cold pack.
oh, okay. I don't know what that means. Don't use big words.
Never mind.
Thank you.
Welcome.
$3.1 million in a given year, but currently has a petition for bankruptcy pending. He's also appeared on 3 episodes of the TV show Burn Notice and has a number of publicity photos which are up on the internet. At another period of time in his life, he was an actor or attempted to be an actor because he claims that his daughter was a model, and as a result of that, he got into acting. And because of his look, his build, his physique, his appearance, he was lucky enough to book 3 episodes on Burn Notice. And this is one of the pictures that come from the talent agency that he was involved with at the time. You saw one picture from the prosecution. I wanted to show you some others. This is another picture. This is another picture of Mr. Shihata with the vest on and his arms, and there's 3 pictures on the side. They're talent pictures, publicity pictures, the type of pictures that an actor might use at one point or so in their lives. Now keep that up there while we talk about Mr. Shihata. Those pictures were on an agency website where he advertised his acting skills. Now, the evidence will show that Dalia Dippolito and Mohammed Shihata lost contact, but they communicate occasionally. They reconnected sometime in 2009, in early 2009. She confided in Mohammed, and she told Mohammed things about their marriage. Dalia Dippolito isn't on trial for having an extramarital affair or allegedly cheating on her husband. The judge will instruct you about things of that nature at the end of the trial. But the evidence will show that Mr. Shihada will be asked about a number of things he claims to have knowledge of. You'll notice inconsistencies in his statements. You will hear him contradict himself. And in some instances, he says he has a photographic memory, and then he'll tell you only what he chooses to remember. He gets dates, times, and places wrong, and then tries to explain it away with excuses. The evidence will show that Mr. Shihada's memory of significant events is not good. And as the court stated before, and as the prosecution and I have agreed, you will be able to watch Mr. Shihada's direct and cross-examination testimony on video at the appropriate time. Now, the evidence will show that Mr. Shihada has no problem at all taking gifts and taking money from Dalia. And he even suggests in a lewd and crude way that he can have sex with Dalia at the snap of a finger. He also wants you to believe that he's on the fringe of knowing people who would commit crimes and underhanded deeds. But you'll see from his testimony that he always stops short of naming names, giving descriptions, or being certain as to who these people are. He also wants people to believe that he has a connection to law enforcement. He ran the convenience store. The police came in there. The evidence will show that he wants to be everything to everybody. And the evidence will show that he is as much a player and participant in this as is Mike Dippolito. Now, when you listen to Mohammed's testimony, I want you to pay careful attention to a couple of things he claims he said. Although Mohammed says that he never met Mike Dippolito and consistently denies it, he does tell the police in a statement that he knows people who know Mike Dippolito. What does that mean? Now, besides giving Mohammed Shihada money to pay his personal bills, on March 17, 2009, Dalia buys Mohammed a Range Rover. And she pays somewhere between $38,000 and $40,000, cash or cashier's check. A very short time later, Mohammed returns the truck to the dealership and pockets the refund of over $30,000 without ever offering to return the money. Why should I return it? Now, the evidence will show that after he got the money, he paid some bills, and then he took a trip to the Mideast with his daughter, and then he comes back sometime in June of 2009. But the evidence will show, most importantly, and I want you to pay careful attention to this, is that the incident with the Range Rover reveals a glaring inconsistency which will become important as you look at the facts of this case and as you understand what really happened. We talked about how the evidence will show that Mohammed Shihada has a selective memory. Mohammed would have you believe that he knew of Dalia Dippolito's desire to have her husband killed in March of 2009, but he didn't go to the police. In May, he takes this trip to the Middle East with his daughter to visit his family. He returns in early June, and he doesn't go to the Boynton police until July 31st, 2009. It's Mohammed's supposed connection to law enforcement that's the key to setting Mike Dippolito's plan in motion. Mohammed's role, not unlike his role in Burn Notice as an actor. And in Burn Notice, I think he had about 10 lines, so this was a little bit bigger performance. Mohammed's role was to convince the police. Let me close this. No, I won't close it. Mohammed's role was to convince the police that there was a woman who wanted to pay someone to kill her husband. Mr. Shihada has boasted that as an actor, he can do certain things, and he proceeded to do that. He contacted someone in the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department who puts him in touch with someone in the Boynton Beach Police Department. He makes a phone call, and when he does, they immediately get him in take a statement, and sign him up as a confidential informant. What's interesting, though, is when he first goes to the Boynton Beach Police Department to give a statement, he says that they talked a while off tape. They started to talk again, then they laughed a little bit, and then they turned on the tape. But he signed up as this confidential informant. And Mr. Shihada wants you to believe that the police told him that he wouldn't have to testify and that he wouldn't have to have anything to do with this case. But from the moment he signed on as an informant, the police use him. They had to make a series of phone calls, most of which are monitored and recorded. They put him in the vehicle, and whether he did or didn't know he was videoed, I'll let you look at his testimony and make that decision. But the Boynton Beach Police Department, when he had this meeting with Dalia Dippolito, planted a microphone in Mohammed's car, and they had him set up this meeting. And the position of the camera is not very good. And I anticipate that as the state goes through the evidence with you, you'll watch that video. But Mr. Shihada isn't seen very often in the video, and I don't believe you see Mr. Dippolito very much at all. You hear talking. But if you listen carefully to the entire thing, you're going to hear Mohammed talking with someone else who has nothing to do with the case. The casual conversation with somebody is completely against regulation. But the more interesting piece of evidence reveals that Mohammed doesn't behave at all in this phone conversation with someone like he's the hinge pin to a murder plot. After his conversation is done with Mr. Dippolito, the tape is still on. And either the video or I believe the audio captures Mohammed speaking to someone on his cell phone. And he's heard telling the person on the cell phone, he's wearing a wire and he's headed to the police station because they're going to take off his wire. Now, he signed a contract with the Boynton Beach Police Department, and he was sworn not to tell anyone about his role with them. And I'm sure that the Boynton Beach Police will talk to you about that. And when you hear his description of his role, the tone of his voice, and the times he tells whoever he's talking to that he's working with the police and that he's got to take off the wire, it certainly becomes clear from the evidence that he doesn't take what he's doing seriously. But then his job was simply to sell the plan and put the police in motion. The evidence will also show that the Boynton Beach Police Department recruit an undercover police officer based on Mr. Shihada's information to act as a hitman. A meeting is set up between Dalia Dippolito and the so-called hitman at a CVS pharmacy in Boynton Beach, just west of I-95 on Gateway Boulevard. But before this meeting takes place, Ms. Dippolito and Mohammed Shihada meet outside the Chili's restaurant on Congress and Gateway. And they decide to go inside to get something to eat. And the evidence will show that Mohammed is not wearing a wire, and the conversation inside Chili's is neither monitored or recorded in any way. They spend 40 to 45 minutes inside the Chili's. Even one of the sergeants involved in this case didn't think it was a very good idea for Mohammed to meet with Ms. Dippolito without being monitored. And this was certainly the opportunity Mohammed needed so that he could talk about his success in getting the police to take their plot seriously and for him to brief her as to what was going to happen next. They leave Chili's together and they take one car to the meeting at the CVS. Mr. Dippolito, according to Mr. Shihada, bought some takeout. At first he says, I think she bought the takeout for his dog. Maybe it was for her husband. So she goes to Chili's. They leave Chili's. She buys takeout for her husband, or in Mr. Shihada's words, the dog. So for the dog or for her husband. And then she goes to CVS to supposedly have a meeting with a hitman about her husband, the person she wants to have killed. And you'll see a video of Ms. Dippolito talking to the undercover police officer. Hitman, whatever you want to call him. And I assume the prosecution will play that for you. And the police believe that this is a real plot to commit a murder. Mohammed told Dalia that the police believed his story about a woman who wanted to pay someone to kill her husband. She knows she's talking to a real policeman, and she knows she's not talking to a hitman. The undercover police officer has no idea that they've discussed a fake plot and believes he's getting taped evidence. And she plays her part well. And she continues the ruse and she makes plans with the undercover cop as if it were real. She never wanted, she certainly never planned, and she certainly never intended for anything to happen to her husband. And the evidence will show that this video, which is the so-called centerpiece of the state's evidence, is important for you to look at. And I anticipate you'll hear from the undercover officer as well. Now, at one point during the video, the officer sees Mohammed in the parking lot. Now, remember, he believes he's investigating a murder plot, but he sees the informant. That would never happen. Never. He says on the video, "What's he doing?" And the reply that the hitman gets from Ms. Dippolito is that he's smoking. I don't let him smoke in the truck. That's hardly a statement that a hardened, cold, calculating person planning a murder is going to make. And then Mohammed approaches the vehicle that they're in, and he knocks on the window. "How's it going?" Did she want something to drink? You know, he's concerned about her when he's with this hitman. And in real life, I don't think the informant's going to identify the undercover police officer, especially when he's talking to the suspect. Now, the undercover police officer will also tell you himself that he didn't think the camera recording them was well hidden. He'll tell you that at a number of points, Ms. Dippolito would look around in the direction of the camera. You'll see her looking out the back window many times during her meeting. And the officer, I anticipate, will come up with an excuse that she was looking around whenever she saw somebody. But if you look at that video and you watch it, she is clearly looking in the direction of the camera, and she's clearly looking because she knows, as the officer is, that the camera just unfortunately wasn't very well hidden. And in the conversation between Ms. Dippolito and this undercover police officer, you're going to hear him say many things that even the most naive among us would realize is not something you'd hear from a hitman. They think they're investigating something for real, but the things he says are just so evident. He tells her he needs a key to her house and that he doesn't care if there's an alarm system. He tells her that she doesn't have to pay him now. He says, "I don't want the money now." He'll contact her later and get the money on the back end. He tells her that he has to get other people involved. And he says that part of his planning is that he's got to call the police from her neighborhood and report a shooting to see how fast they respond. And he says if he can't do it at the designated time, he'll give her money back. Dalia plays along. The talk escalates. And he says to her, "Are you sure about this?" Well, she knows what she's doing. He thinks he knows what he's doing. And she says, "Yeah, I'm 5,000% sure." It didn't matter. It didn't matter at all because she knew nothing was ever going to happen. I told you before that the reality show Cops was scheduled to begin riding with the Boynton Beach Police. And according to Stephanie Slater, who's the Boynton Beach Police Department's public information person, it was 33-year veteran Sergeant Paul Sheridan who told her that he thought this case would be good for cops. And that set things in motion. All she needed was her chief's approval. Because of Mohammed's acting job and Dalia playing along with the plot, the police believed, and rightly so, that this whole thing was real. Just the other night, a man barricaded himself in a home in Lake Forest, Illinois, and 100 police officers went to his house, and they come to find out that he called from a McDonald's, and he was basically just playing with the police. But in this case, the police knew exactly where Dalia was, and their undercover told her to go to the gym. Now, if this was as real, and if this was what they say it was, after this was done, they could have gone and picked her up at any time. If this was the plot and this was the solicitation, go pick her up. But instead, Sergeant Sheridan decides to set up a fake crime scene and to call Dalia to go to the scene with the cameras rolling. He also made sure that the people from the television show Cops were part of the Boynton Beach Police entourage that went to Mike Dippolito's house to tell him what was happening. That's the first time that anyone ever goes to Mike Dippolito to tell him what's happening. If this real murder plot was as they say it is, nobody went to warn him about it. Nobody went to tell him about it. The very first time that they visit with him to say what's going to happen is on the morning of the day that this occurs, with cops in tow. Now, Mr. Sheridan also made sure that there was this scene, this fake crime scene. And Frank Ranzi, who is a Boynton Beach police sergeant, who hugs Miss Dippolito during the fake crime scene will tell you that a camera person was present both there and at Mike Dippolito's home from the television show Cops. And a media area was also designated with cameras that were set up. And you'll see the footage. And the evidence will be clear that this video of Dalia's arrest serves no investigative purpose whatsoever. The police are quick to comment that her reaction is inappropriate and that she didn't show enough emotion or that she cried too soon at the news that her husband was shot. Well, the evidence will show that Dalia knew that Mike wasn't harmed, and hers is a fake reaction to a fake event. As Sergeant Ramsey put it, he perceived it as an Academy Award-winning moment of grief. Now, the evidence is clear that the police were cooperating with the show Cops to capture raw footage of the shock they expected when Mike heard the news. You'll learn that the police participated in what they call cover shots, which is staged footage of the police doing routine things in order to get more information and finish up the filmed product. It's a standard filming technique, and it's used to show something visual while you have a narrator talking. After Miss Dippolito's arrest, the police had a short debriefing session to talk through the events. The show Cops didn't get that meeting on film, so they asked Sergeant Sheridan to repeat it. And a brief scene was staged to recreate the meeting for the cameras. And the evidence will show that once the Boynton Beach Police Department started to generate footage for Cops, they overlooked pieces of the investigation that might have allowed them to discover what Mike Dippolito was up to and what a scam was. Now, you'll see a tape of Sergeant Sheridan and Dalia Dippolito at the Boynton Beach Police Station. And one of the most obvious and glaring breaks with police procedure is the lie that Sergeant Sheridan tells Dalia about being on video. The evidence will show that when the police arrest a suspect and are interrogating them, a waiver is not required to put the questioning session on video. When someone is arrested, they don't have what the law calls an expectation of privacy in a police station. So if you're recorded or if you're videoed, they don't necessarily have to tell you. But what the evidence is going to show is that there's a conversation between Paul Sheridan and Miss Dippolito, where Paul Sheridan says to her that you have to sign this because we're putting you on video. I don't want to be on video. Well, you're going to be on video and you have to sign this. Well, the evidence will show that what he's doing is he's duping her into signing a video release so that her face can be on the TV show Cops. And without that waiver, the editors of the footage would have to insert those wiggly little squares that you sometimes see when someone's face is being blocked out on a television show. Most shows like this require a waiver, and there's rules that ensure that the person signing the waiver is doing so, and doing so voluntarily. Sergeant Sheridan will tell you that as a result of what happened, they ripped up that waiver, and the show's producer had to later get another member of his staff to somehow convince Miss Dippolito to sign a waiver after she's arrested and once she's in a police station and once she's told about what occurred. Now, the evidence will show that Sergeant Ramsey believed that the questioning of Miss Dippolito was rushed, that Mr. Sheridan wanted an on-camera confession and was pressing for it. At one point, the evidence shows that Sergeant Sheridan brings the undercover police officer into the interrogation room and asks Dalia if she knows that person. That's as irregular as anything else. Sergeant Ramsey tells us that the suspect is usually asked to identify the undercover policeman through a one-way mirror in a type of lineup. Here again, Sergeant Sheridan is setting up a dramatic confrontation so that somebody can show it on tape. You'll also see that on the fixed position camera that the police use when they interrogate a suspect, that in the film, that in the lower right-hand corner, there's actually a cameraman from the show Cops who's getting footage of Miss Dippolito. The evidence will show that this is an effort towards sensationalism. And the cameraman is probably hoping for an emotional outburst. That's going to add to the dramatic effect of the whole thing. Then we get to a point where Sergeant Sheridan tells Miss Dippolito that her husband is alive. And what does she say? Thank God. Dalia's of the belief that at this point, Michael Dippolito is going to come in and explain what they are attempting to pull off. It's time to end the scam. Sergeant Sheridan allows Dalia Dippolito to see Mike Dippolito outside the interrogation room. And you'll hear Dalia Dippolito calling Mike asking him to come into the room, speak to her, pleading with him to explain what's been going on. Dalia says through her tears, I didn't plan this. And later that night, after she's in jail, she calls Mike. And Mike will tell you he took the call because he was curious, because he wanted to hear what she had to say. This is a guy who supposedly told that his wife was going to kill him. And she calls Mike and she pleads with him to straighten things out. Come down to the jail. Let's talk about this. Can I see you? And the evidence will show that he doesn't respond with outrage at the idea of his wife wanting to have him killed. He flatly says, I don't know how I can help you. The evidence will show that he was also told not to talk to anybody about this. But he appears either once on local TV and then a number of times on national TV and has a nice conversation with Matt Lauer the morning after this thing occurs when he's on the Today Show. And one reporter at some point even questions how calm he is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Dippolito's hoax to orchestrate his own murder to achieve fame and fortune was a bad prank. And it was no different than what Balloon Boy's parents did, or the couple that crashed the White House. His reality idea wasn't even an original one. But what was clear from the evidence is that it was never anyone's intention to harm anyone. Everyone had a part to play in this story, the purpose of which was to come up with something interesting that would appeal to someone in reality TV. You'll have a lot of questions as you go through the evidence. Did this happen? Did that happen? But when you look at the facts, what really went on here? What really occurred here? And the evidence will show and be extremely clear that this whole thing was never really thought through and that bad judgment is all over this case. That may get you frustrated. That may even get you angry. But it doesn't mean in any way that the prosecution can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a crime was committed. And at the end of this case, we'll appeal to your better judgment and ask you to return a verdict of not guilty. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Selleck.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. But also, you got rid of it.
Oh, sorry.
Look at the attorney there. It looks like she's crossing her arms, but those are just her boobs. That's how big her boobs are. I mean, I got big boobs, but dang, those things go past.
And
like,
her
they're-
neck disappeared.
Yeah, they're to like her bottom lip when she sits down.
Also, the way that the something on the Elmo is, it's like for the whatever the woman in the dark suit is. This is like right there where her boobs would be.
Yes,
Just moving a little closer.
side eye. She's nestled in herself. She nestled herself. Yeah, totally.
So Katie, her looks do change. So that she had ended up having 3 trials, and I didn't go over what happened in all 3 of those trials because they said to wait till the end. So I'm going to do that. This is her first trial. It's the only one that I can get that I know of. I will keep looking. But when she when she commits this crime, allegedly, she is extremely dark from either tanning outside, tanning in tan bed. I don't have any idea. And her hair is very dark. As she gets away from being able to have access to the outside or her tanning bed, she goes back to her normal color of skin and she does lighten her hair. So that's why there's a lot of different images of her out there. So she does change her. She does change. You're not crazy. I promise. And I forgot all about freaking Balloon Boy.
Balloon Boy.
You don't remember Balloon Boy in Colorado? So this weather balloon takes off, and the parents call the police and say that their son is in the balloon.
I was getting that confused with Bubble Boy, the movie.
Oh yeah, nope, Balloon Boy. And then The balloon lands because I remember
This is
watching.
like a real thing, like on the news.
Yeah, I remember watching.
Get
the
out of
news.
here!
No, I will not get out of here. I'll stay right here and tell you the story.
That's hilarious.
It is real. I mean, in this balloon, this weather balloon, it looks like a big giant thing of like Jiffy Pop popcorn, way back in the day that had the aluminum top that would pop. You put it on the stove. I know I'm going way back for you, but
I remember that. Yeah.
so he's in this thing. They say he's in this thing, and the police are chasing it, trying to figure out how to get it down out of the sky. And it finally comes down in a field. And when they go to look inside the balloon, he's not there.
Where'd he go?
He was hiding in their house in the attic.
Rude. Are you kidding me?
No. But
If I did that, if that happened to me, my ass would have been beaten till next Tuesday. I'll tell you what.
But if you listen, then it comes out later that his parents, or at least his dad, I don't know, his parents were nuts. Oh yeah, they were in wife swap too. Oh my gosh.
His parents were on wife swap?
Yes. And I mean were insane.
That's crazy.
They told him to go hide because the dad was some kind of an inventor or something, and he wanted publicity for this dumb balloon.
They were in on it.
They were absolutely in on it. Yes.
They just basically were like, all right, Bubble Boy, hang out in the attic for a few days, and then,
Balloon Boy. No, it wasn't a few days. It was just like a few hours. Like they were chasing this thing. It was like a car chase, as Snipe said. Like it was crazy because you're just thinking, if this thing, they can't shoot it down, because if it falls out of the sky, they're gonna take out the little boy that's in there. But then he wasn't in there.
Yeah.
Because when they opened up the balloon, I remember watching all this live on TV, and when they opened up the balloon and there was nobody in there, it's like, where the heck is he? Like, did he fall out somewhere? I mean, it was weird.
It's Robin. I remember those scammers.
They were definitely scammers.
Well, they had to get on the next, reality show, so.
They were trying to create their own. Good night, Katie.
Night, Katie.
Yeah, they were nuts. Probably still are.
That's crazy.
Jiffy Pop was not from well, it might have been from 1949, but I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I'm going to Google it right now.
It did look like a UFO. And Jiffy Pop. Huge. Moops. Am I saying
All right. So Jiffy Pop was developed by Frederick C. Menenen in 1858.
See, it was before 1949.
Yes, it was.
You're not helping me.
No, wait. And first marketed in 1959.
So it was after 1949.
Correct. It was. You were right.
It was both. Flashman, you're right. I'm right. Truce. It's a truce. So Ronnie put it in Discord. All right. If you're not part of the Discord, click the link.
What did she put?
I think the balloon boy.
All right. God dang it.
So yeah, you don't have to be a member or anything to join the Discord. And it's a lot of fun. Just mute your notifications. You don't think you've ever had that popcorn in the UK? He blurted out, "We did this for the show," during a TV interview when everyone thought it was a big misunderstanding. Oops.
I'll have to watch it after because it's a YouTube video.
Oopsies. Well, we have that too. I don't even know if there's Jiffy Pop. Is it still around?
It is. Yeah, you can still buy it.
Don't be picking on people. Bobby. It's not
What are you
nice.
picking on? I mean, that's just what he does. It's fine. He's fine. He's just Bobby.
There's the Discord link.
But it does say here, quickly became a popular stovetop popcorn treat known for its fun, expanding foil pan with national distribution by 1960 and widespread fame by the 1970s. So
We used to eat Jiffy Pop while watching Barbizon ads.
oh boy.
Bad Dazzler, I approach everything you post in Discord with caution. And then I usually just laugh.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it, obviously, and then I laugh.
The wife swap episode they were horrible. They were
That's
horrible.
hilarious.
Ugh.
But also, like, that show in general just sounds terrible.
Wife swap?
Yeah.
I loved wife swap.
I mean, you know, it was entertaining, but, you know, I mean, you can't really say much about wives in here because a lot of the guys in here have had multiple wives and they don't like them. So
I don't like
wife swap
wives.
for them, you know, they just don't like wives, you know?
The best wife swap was the bacon is good for me boy. I don't remember that one. I remember when it came back for just a few episodes, and there was a woman, she was a college cheerleader, and I don't remember who her husband was, but they were like in really good shape. And then the wife that he got she was a bigger woman and hilarious. And she went to walk out of their like sliding glass door onto their back porch and she fell. And then she was like, she just lay there and she's like, big girl down. Laughed so hard. I didn't laugh at her falling. I laughed at what she saw. Like, you know what, lady?
I mean,
hats off to you because you just are funny.
I would have laughed. I would have laughed all the way. But, I mean, I trip up going up the stairs. So,
me too.
You know.
I would rather do than going down. Yeah, Trading Spouses was good too. Except for that.
Yeah, oh, maybe that's the one I'm
crazy
getting confused with.
There was like a crazy lady on Trading Spouses. Like she was like going to be casting out things from people. Like she was insane. She was in the F position. Nope, she really literally kind of rolled out the door.
Oh my God.
She was not in
Violet, you're turning violet, Violet. To the dejuicer.
Oh my gosh. All right. So tomorrow.
Wait a minute. Frank says Mormons are full of hormones.
Where?
I didn't see it in time. So you can't see it in StreamYard, unfortunately. Okay. But they probably are.
I'm glad, Side-Eye, because she kind of needed to. So tomorrow, like, protect your brain cells because we start Mike Dippolito's testimony and it goes on for several parts.
And on.
Gosh dang it, Rue.
It's fine. It's not really even that loud. I mean, we can hear them barking in the background, but they're not that loud.
They're gonna howl. There's 7 parts to his testimony, which is interrupted by his attorney will testify in between his 7 parts.
Oh, okay.
Good night, Frank. We'll see you tomorrow.
Night, Frankie.
One of her kids came out and it made her reevaluate her life. She needed to. I'm just saying. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know what chat you're doing, but So yeah, so we are going to hear from the victim or non-victim, whatever side you believe, starting tomorrow, and continue listening to him for a little bit because it does take us a little bit of time to get through these, but we will. Starting off strong with these openings, I'll tell you. Yay. You know. I don't. But anyway, we
Blah, 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 blah.
will be back at 6 p.m. tomorrow.
Sounds good. Also, I'm going over to Grandma's house. She's doing Disney trivia, 9 p.m. tonight.
Wait, I was all that late and now I have 17 minutes to be caught up? Darn. Oh, wait, is Frank leaving? But you're still going? I'm trying hard to play catch up. Yes, Frank is leaving. I am going to as well, Shani. But
Hasta
we'll be back
mañana.
hasta mañana. But we will be back tomorrow. I don't have the outro done for this yet, but I will try to get it done tomorrow or Wednesday. So for now, you're just all stuck with the old outro. So
I like it.
you'll just have to wave goodbye to the Corn Queen when she comes on. And have a great night, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for Lefty for becoming a new member, and for everyone that sent super chats. I appreciate it, and I just appreciate you all being here.
Heck yeah.
Sorry, my watch is trying to fall off. Stop it. So I know she popped in for a second to tell saving a life, doing all that stuff.
Eating a cow,
You know, overdone, but whatever. But all right, Grandma's on at 9.
She's on at 9, half an hour from now.
All right, and she's doing
Disney trivia.
There you guys go. If you need something to do, go to Grandma's for Disney trivia. Just remember, there are children there.
Yeah.
Behave. Don't be naughty. All righty. That's it. Sorry, I was reading Shani. Yes. And he's going to continue to do that, Shani. My apologies. All right, now I'm really gone. All right. See you, Gabby.
Bye.
Hot mannequin love is kinda uncanny. Click, like, subscribe, ooh, piece of candy. Looking for my spotlight, chasing my vibe. Still looking for my credibility online. Ooh, hot mannequin love, candy on the floor, don't pick it up. Chasing all the clicks, chasing all the views. Credibility's hiding, but I'm bringing you the news. Every little scroll is a mystery, but you stuck around, watch the show with me. Laughs and chaos, that's how we roll. Drop a comment down below before you go. Every little scroll is a mystery, but you stuck around, watch the show with me. Laughs and chaos, that's how we roll. Drop a comment down below before you go. Ooh, hot mannequin love, candy on the floor, don't pick it up. Looking for my credit, but I'll take your time. Thanks for tuning in, now